Hey everybody, today is December 10th, it is Saturday, and I haven't been making videos for the past few days because, I was taking a break from the news. Sometimes you need to take a break. So, one of the things I did find when I finally turned back on the news was that San Francisco is investigating Twitter for putting beds in the Twitter offices. They converted rooms in the headquarters for Twitter into sleeping quarters. And it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, some of the beds look like they threw a pillowcase over a pillow and a sheet over some couch cushions. And there is at least one room that looks like there was a bed in there, or they assembled a bed, but some of the beds don't even look like beds. But the problem is that they're using a business facility for what they are calling residential purposes. And that goes against building code requirements for residential buildings, and even if they're just short-term stays, like you wanted to sleep overnight in the office, well, you aren't allowed to do that without the city's approval. So then I thought, well, if they're going to be investigating Twitter for letting people sleep in an office because it violates building codes, what does it say about the California homeless population? And so, of course, using the most unbiased source that I could find on the internet, I went over to Wikipedia, and I looked up homelessness in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I scrolled down to the last 20 years of mayors and people that were elected to run the city and fix it up. And so from 2004 to 2010 was Gavin Newsom, and he was a member of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. He came after Willie Brown, who, if you know anything about the VP of our country right now, she had something to do with Willie Brown. Naughty. Gavin Newsom was supposed to be a centrist Democrat, and that's how he ran to get elected. And the last 2 decades of dealing with homelessness was not successful, he could see. So he wanted to implement a whole bunch of changes in the community to get rid of the homeless community. And he thought programs needed more resources and oversight. So the city passed 2 measures, Propositions M and N. Proposition M expanded quality of life laws that included the prohibition of aggressive panhandling and panhandling near ATMs, parking lots, or buses. That just treats a symptom of the homelessness. It doesn't fix the homelessness. That makes it better for the people that are there. And Proposition N was the cornerstone piece of legislation, and it was known as the Care Not Cash Act, or bill, or whatever. And it got a 60% approval, with the goal to overhaul the city's welfare system by cutting general assistance payments to eligible adults from about $395 a month to $57 a month, and to use the savings to expand care services for the city's homeless. So we were going to give you $400, but now it's going to be $50. And the other $350 that we were giving to you, we're going to give it to services in the city. And this was seen as, we need to help the homeless by taking away money that was going to be given to them. And instead of that, well, if you fast forward to today, the same state of California, under Gavin Newsom, wants to give money away to people who have sexual dysphoria. There were other measures that he introduced. Homeward Bound, Operation Outreach. The Homeward Bound was to pay bus tickets to send homeless people out of the city, as long as they could prove they had somewhere to go. And the Coalition for Homelessness was not too happy about it, and they accused the program of not solving anything and were just dumping the problem off onto other counties. And if you fast forward to today, we have Martha's Vineyard and other places who are claiming the same thing. So Martha's Vineyard is pretty much a coalition for homelessness, or illegal alienness, because they don't want them around them either. I don't know. It almost seems like the Coalition for Homelessness wants the homeless people to stay in San Francisco rather than, you could go find a place outside the city where someone wants to take care of you, but you can't afford the bus ticket to get there. Well, we don't want you to leave. Right before Newsom left office to go run for the governor of California, he passed Proposition L, which banned city residents from sitting or lying on sidewalks between the hours of 7 a.m. and 11 p.m. he passed a law for the city saying, homeless people, you aren't allowed to lie in the streets between 7 a.m. and 11 p.m. And if we catch you, what are you going to do? Well, are you going to arrest them? California Assembly Bill 2830 would have enabled cities and families to push people into court-ordered mental health treatment. A companion bill to SB 1338 would set up care courts, aimed at expanding the bureaucracy of service provision to include judges and lawyers, and include sanctions for cities that do not comply with the program. So now that Gavin Newsom is out of office, well, out of mayoral office, he's now doing more damage as governor of California. His replacement is Mayor London Breed. And if you thought that Gavin Newsom was going to do something well, it didn't work. And she wanted to do extremely progressive development plans for the unhoused community, not the homeless community, the unhoused. And her policy was centered around making more affordable housing units available. She also worked on local policy to support safe drug use. Now, these safe drugs include fentanyl, because they have fentanyl testing, heroin, because they do clean needle giveaways, and the expansion of the San Francisco Street Overdose Team to include a dedicated team to support and follow up with people after overdose incidents. Her policies have also provided safe parking spaces for those residing in their vehicles. So not only is she encouraging safe drug use, safe use of fentanyl, heroin, and overdosing, these don't fix homelessness. These are symptoms of the homelessness. The mayors, the elected officials in California, are not doing anything to really address the causes of homelessness or to fix the homelessness. California, it almost seems like it's lost, and there's no coming back. And that's a shame, because it used to be a really pretty state. I'm sure parts of it still are, but not San Francisco with the needles and everything. Their main thing was tourism. They had a $9 million something annual revenue from tourism. That's gone. I'm done.